Mark Anthony Colon and Gladys Perez are accused of the beating death of Perez's 3-year-old daughter, Crystal.
Here I am, 6 months pregnant with his daughter now.
It's hard not getting angry that she just can't get angry at this fucking guy.
There's no point in dealing her out unless she's going to testify. So she needs to give us a proffer on what she can give us on Colon.
The only thing you got to do, Gladys, is tell the truth.
You gotta have a seat in that porch.
Well, that's fine until just a minute ago.
Come on in. You want to share what happened a minute ago?
It's so rude. I wrote a letter for Crystal, and he's like, why are you bringing in this kind of shit into a contact visit? Are you gonna pass that down to them to send it somewhere? And I said, you know what? It's a letter for my daughter.
Did they know?
I don't know why they have to be so rude.
Let me see.
I can't prepare.
I always have this.
I normally write a letter to Crystal every month, like every 12th of the month. Just because she's gone, it doesn't mean I can't read them to her. Crystal's still my daughter. You know what the first thought comes up in my head when I think of her? Is the drive here to Las Vegas from California. We were listening to music and her favorite group was on the radio, and then she said, "Put it up, Mom." And I put up the radio and she's moving her head. And she's singing to this song. It was the last time I heard her laughing, and she was all happy, she was excited. The only reason why I look forward to all this being done is because once it's done, it's either I go home or I go to prison. Either or, I'll be able to hold my kids. That's the only reason why I'm looking forward to this getting done, but it's scary.
I pray for strength, courage, and energy for Gladys and for the memorial service tomorrow, that it would be a celebration of Crystal's life, Father, knowing that even in that short period of time, there were memories such as described by Gladys, with her dancing to a song in the back seat of a car. Now we know she could be very well dancing in heaven, Father.
todas las flores a tu sister. Ese es su regalo. Muévete, muévete. Ven, ven para acá. No, ven para acá, niña. Ven. No hagas eso. Un besito. Ay, qué linda, mira. De esa aquí, ¿verdad? Allí. Hi, baby. Hi, Pa. Look. Oh my God, I've seen you guys in so long. Hi, baby.
Beso. Un beso.
Hi, Frida.
Dale un besito, mami.
Delilha. Delilha.
Háblale a tu mamá.
Delilha.
¿Qué habla tu mamá? ¿Qué habla? Mira, Gladys. ¿Dónde está Gladys? Gladys. Ella es Gladys, mira. Ella es Gladys, tu mami. Dile, hi, mami. Hi. Okay.
How are you doing at your dad's house?
Fine.
You doing okay?
Huh?
You're doing okay? When are you coming home?
I'm gonna come with my grandma for vacation.
Are you? How's school, babe?
Fine.
Está guapa.
Okay. Okay,
Dale, vámonos.
bye. Bye, hija, love you. Bye. Mira, yeah.
Here, got it.
No, vámonos.
Dios te bendiga, mija. Bye. Hey, do something up.
Bye, Mom. Play too. Bye, Mom.
Gladys Perez?
Thank you. Okay, we'll check them out, get back in a second.
Okay.
Thanks. Hi, Gladys. What's up? You guys gonna get married, or?
I don't know. He paid for my divorce. So I could marry him.
Well, he paid for your divorce so you could marry him so you could help his own fucking self.
Yeah, I thought about that.
And that's why he paid for your divorce, and that's why he wants to marry you, because it helps his case.
I know. Is it really gonna help his case, would it?
Well, like I said, Gladys, an average regular juror is gonna wanna know why didn't you run to protect your daughter, Leslie? Why didn't you get out of there and call the police about what he did to Crystal? The state's explanation for that is going to be that you love this guy so much, you neglected your child, Crystal, and Leslie, and that's why you didn't leave.
Am I the first mom that feels sorry for the person that killed my child? I mean, why do they make me out so fucking evil? It's just, that's what hurts me.
Well, because it raises questions about what happened. If this jury believes that you're complicit with him at all, that puts you on the hook for felony murder. That equals automatic first-degree murder. They don't have to prove premeditation deliberation. They just have to prove some sort of neglect or failure to get aid.
I know that I'm doing everything wrong. I just know it. I just can't help it. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me? I don't. And I know it's wrong, Tim. I know it. Oh, God, Crystal. It's hard enough to deal with the fact that she's dead and murdered by Delilha's dad. It's just, God.
Time's probably not a bad idea. Man, they make me feel bad.
If she's knows what happened and is ready to lay it out there, then that's what we want to talk to her about.
She's going to have substantial information to give.
Okay, okay.
I think she's still going to say at some time she was pretty well beat up. At some time she was out of it. But you're going to learn tons more. You're going to learn tons more than you did before.
Could you have worn a suit that fits today?
Should have seen him 20 minutes ago. It was in like flip-flops.
I don't have a, what do you mean? I don't even have a belt on. My pants are falling down. Jeans and flip-flops.
I don't think she's going anywhere.
She makes it run for you, he'll throw her down there.
And I don't know if, you know, that videotaping might be for the DA too. I mean, if they're going to put you here.
I heard the door slam. I heard when Anthony walked in. He went to the side of the bed where I was laying down and he asked me, he said, "You're not gonna fucking ask me where the fuck I was at?" I said, "Anthony, I'm tired. We'll talk about it tomorrow." And he didn't like what I said. He punched me in the face. I landed on the floor and he started kicking me. Then he started telling me about how he had gambled all our money away. He said, "You're gonna have to fucking get a job or, I don't know, go strip, do something, because we're fucking out of money. I just gambled all the money away." Then he picked me up, put me against the wall and started choking me.
Is the door still closed and the kids are still in the other room?
The door is still closed. Max came and knocked and he said, "Daddy, Crystal vomited on herself." And he said, "Couldn't you go to the bathroom? Do this shit in the bathroom?" He grabbed her, picked her up, took her into the bathroom. I guess it was hurting her because she kept saying ouch.
How many times did she say ouch?
I don't remember.
Did she say something to you?
She said, "Mommy, please."
You saw him hit her, is that right? We're here for the truth, remember?
Yes.
And you saw him hit her?
Yes.
And if you heard ouch and you saw him hit her, was it with a fist or was it a slap?
A slap.
To what part of her body?
Her side.
Are you trying to stop him?
I'm trying to grab Crystal. He punched me. I just heard a bone crack in my nose. I don't know if he broke my nose or if he just dislocated it or something. At some point, Crystal got up and he picked her up and took her to the bathroom, and I remember her losing her balance. She couldn't walk. And that's when I realized that something was seriously wrong with her. He said, "She's just dehydrated." He pulled out a $20 bill, threw it at me, and then he gave me directions to go to a Walgreens. And he said, "No fucking cops, Gladys. No cops, no ambulance. We'll get her back to house, and then we'll take her to the hospital."
Well, when you're out at the Walgreens, did you think maybe I'll call the cops and have them come back with me to the apartment? Like get him and we'll go back and get the baby and.
No, I didn't. I didn't think of it that way. I wanted to go back and get Crystal better, and I was gonna leave him. I ran upstairs, and before I even got my hand on the doorknob, the door opened, and Anthony's freaking out. "Gladys, they got worse, something's wrong with her, she's not responding, I don't know what the fuck happened, Gladys, I swear to God, I don't know what the fuck happened." She started shaking, and she had a seizure. After that, I wrapped her up in a blanket, and I told him, I said, "Please, let's just go take her to the hospital." So when he was driving around in circles in the hospital, and he wouldn't stop. He said, "I'm not going to prison for you or that little bitch. I'm telling you right now." And if you get off and you go in the hospital, they're gonna ask you what the fuck happened to the baby. And you have to think that you have Leslie still at the apartment. To me, that was a threat. Crystal was dead. I couldn't do anything for her. He drove out of the hospital without another word. I grabbed the steering wheel, tried to pull him over, tried to make him pull over. When I grabbed the steering wheel, he hit me. The pain just went straight to my brain. I don't remember how we got to the apartments. I don't remember when he took her from my arms. I just remember asking him when I saw him get in the car. I asked him, I said, where's the baby? Because I didn't have her with me anymore. And he said I had to leave her. And I said, you left her where? And then he said, it was either I leave her at the apartments or I bury her.
Did he come back to the car and tell you, I put her in a box and put her on top of the dumpster?
I don't remember him even taking her from my arms.
We'll stop now.
See you, Jimmy.
I don't know what you think right on hand, but I mean, I know she's better than she was.
She filled in a lot of blanks. The concern that I have are the discrepancies.
And she was withholding information, and so the concern there is if it's one time or 12 times during that interview, you know, and we were hoping that that wouldn't happen, but it just didn't make sense about every time she got to critical areas, she would put herself in a better light.
Yeah, we know. We probably should have talked to her a little bit better about it, but I wanted to resist any urges to being too coaching with her.
But, Curtis, the ship has sailed.
I know that.
Appreciate your efforts.
All right, Curtis.
Bye, Pam.
It's always a pleasure, buddy.
Mine as well.
Hi.
Hello. You're out here for
Mm-hmm. Hi, Gladys.
Hi, how are you?
Anything I can try to clear up? Let's talk about what's going to be going on. See, when you're picking a jury, if anybody on that jury panel cannot consider death as an option, they get thrown off the jury. Because the state has, has a right to, it's a legal sentence in Nevada. And if somebody can't consider a legal sentence, they're gone. So, I mean, guess who can't consider death as a sentence, a legitimate sentence? People are going to tend to be more liberal. People are going to give more credence to the presumption of innocence. All those are all the people we're going to lose.
I think I'm getting myself prepared for that.
Because
of all the unfairness of it, I just came to terms that I know they're gonna turn over a guilty verdict. It's just.
Well, I ain't gonna predict it. I would certainly always tell you be prepared for a guilty verdict. I tell that to virtually any client before a jury. That's just the nature of the beast. So where's your head and heart at as far as Cologne goes?
My head and my heart is not where Cologne is at. My head and my heart is where that little girl's at.
Yeah, but I heard that before, so I'm just wondering,
No, there's two ways. There's two ways that I see it. Okay, this is my daughter, and I've always said he needs to pay for what he did to her. I've never argued that. My argument was I don't believe in the death penalty. So on the other token, what I don't want is for him to get the death penalty. But as far as him paying for what he did to my daughter, I mean, I'm all for that.
Above and beyond the death penalty stuff, you always say you still love Anthony. I'm just wondering, during the trial, what's going to happen?
I mean, what could happen? It's my life or his. I'm going for my life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean...
Are you concerned that I would sit there and talk to him or something?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you have to understand that jury is going to be riveted on everything you do. And if you're making goo-goo eyes at him or even giving him looks of encouragement, they're gonna fucking hate you. But there you have it, so, you know. All right, I'm gonna hit the button. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thanks again.
Yeah, it's the jurors, and they're like, he said it himself. That's kidnapping right there. Game over. All right. You think so?
The state of Nevada may address the jury in their opening statement.
Maxine told the detectives that one night, Daddy and Gladys got into a fight because of Crystal, that Daddy had said that Crystal caused too much drama in their lives, and that Daddy had punched Crystal. So how does Gladys Perez fit in to the events of that night? Gladys never used the phone inside the Weekly apartment to summon help for her daughter. She never used a cell phone to call an ambulance or call for help. She never made any serious attempt whatsoever to get aid for Crystal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown.
Maxine Cologne said that when Crystal was hit hard, that she began to cry. She said that her daddy had gone to get something to eat. She didn't know why Gladys Perez had hit her daughter, Crystal. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, at the end of this case, you may not like it, but there is only one just verdict, and that is not guilty for Mr. Cologne and guilty against Ms. Perez. Thank you for listening to me.
Mr. Brown.
Gladys Perez is indeed charged with the unlawful death of her child. But it's not because she beat that child to death. It's because she wasn't able to keep him from doing it. At the end of this trial, you're going to see his control and his dominance over every situation. You're going to see that Gladys's inability to protect Crystal in this circumstance does not make her a murderer.
We're essentially just hitching our wagon to their train until the end. And that's how it came across to me. They have got to vigorously defend that Gladys didn't strike that child. They have to vigorously defend Maxine and Marlene have been coached and prepped to give their statements, and that the first statements are the reliable ones. We got to sit back and follow up on it. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Your Honor, the state calls Dr. Gary Telgenhoff. I'd like to ask you first about her abdominal cavity. Did you make any findings of significance in that regard?
Yes. It was obvious that the duodenum, which is the first part of the small intestine, the part that comes right out of the stomach, was torn in half.
Describe for this jury, if you would, the amount of force necessary to actually sever somebody's duodenum.
Something has to enter the abdomen and create a substantial amount of force to damage this organ.
Did you observe any abnormality with regard to Crystal's ribs?
Yes. It can be seen in this area where the very largest of bruises, that there are fractures of ribs 9 and 10, right adjacent to the spine.
Did you determine a cause of death?
Yes. Blunt force trauma of torso.
As if it were reported that somebody had punched the child in the back with a closed fist. That's consistent with the bruise on the back and the cracked or broken ribs?
That would be consistent, yes.
You don't have opinions as to the color of the person or the gender of the person who caused the findings you recorded, right? If it was a 4.5 foot tall, 82-pound woman, you don't have any opinion about that?
No, I don't.
Thank you very much for your testimony here today. You may step down and you are excused from these proceedings. Maxine, can you just look at this lady over here? And can you raise your right hand?
Did you tell the police that Daddy told Gladys that Crystal made too much drama in their lives?
No.
You didn't tell the police officers that?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you tell the police that Crystal started puking after Daddy hit her?
My dad never hit Crystal.
Your dad never hit Crystal? Do you remember if you told the police that, though?
Because they told me to say that.
Okay, the police told you to say that...
My dad hit Crystal.
Okay, explain that to me. How did they do that?
I don't really remember, but they said like if you say like your dad hit Crystal, then everything will be okay, and your dad will come out of jail, and he'll be fine. He'll be with you guys again.
Okay, and did they say that at the very beginning of the little talk with you?
I don't remember.
Okay.
This is Mr. Christiansen. Do you know him by that or Pete?
I know him by Pete.
Okay.
Do you remember telling the grand jury that after Gladys hit Crystal, Crystal said, ow? Remember that?
At her hotel, yes.
Oh, at her hotel. Okay, good. And after Crystal said, ow, do you remember Crystal getting sick after that happened?
No, I don't remember.
Can you spell your last name for us?
C-O-L-O-N.
Thank you.
Just 3 questions, okay? When you were at your uncle's house, Tio Jose's, do you remember if some police officers came and talked to you?
Yes.
Were they pretty nice to you, or were they mean, or how were they?
They were nice.
They were nice? Was Amy there when you talked to the police officers?
Yes.
She was there? Okay. Did they tell you things they wanted you to say?
They were trying to make us say something.
How did they do that?
Like trying to switch the words around.
Do you remember if you told them, those police officers, that Daddy hit Crystal, but not you or Maxine?
I think, yeah. I think I do.
You told them that?
Like just once. He never hit her ever again.
Okay, so he hit her once, but he never hit you or Maxine?
He never hit either one of us ever again.
I see. And where did he hit her at on her body?
Like just on her back right here.
On her back?
Yeah, he didn't hit her anywhere else.
Okay. But like on her back, on the side, on the top, on the bottom?
Like in the middle, on the side.
In the middle, on the side. Did she cry?
I don't think I saw him hit her. But that's what I think.
Is it hard to describe? Okay.
In February of '06, did one of your cousins come to visit you?
Yes.
Who was that?
Anthony.
And sometime after that, do police from Las Vegas arrive at your house?
Yes.
How were the detectives acting to the girls?
They were acting really nice. They were all telling them that it's going to be okay and we just want to ask you a few questions.
Did the police, during either of the interviews, ever tell these girls what to say? Did they say, we want you to tell us this and suggest an answer to them?
Not that I remember, no.
Do you ask Maxine what happened?
When I asked her what really happened, she just looked at me, she cried, and she just said, if you would have saw what I saw, you would have screamed.
Thank you. That concludes direct examination.
Are you here? Team.
Hi, Lilia.
Hi.
Hi, Leslie. You look nice. Sit down, sweetie. I know you don't want to do this, but we really want you to help your mom out, okay? You're very important. Did you see your mommy hit Crystal in the blue apartment?
No.
You sure? You can tell me the truth. Okay. Did you see Anthony hit Crystal in the blue apartment?
Well, I did.
How many times?
to 3 times.
Did Anthony get mad at Crystal a lot? How come?
I don't know. I think he didn't even like her.
How do you think you're gonna do on Monday?
For what?
For going to court?
I don't know. Do I have to go sit down on the thing?
Hmm?
Do I have to go and sit down on the thing?
Yeah, you're gonna have to sit up on this big chair, but you're a cheerleader. This should be a breeze. You go in front of like 1,000 people and do cheers and
Well,
stuff.
actually, there's a little bit people.
You don't have to risk your mommy. You're going to say just the truth.
But I'm gonna be on TV.
Oh, you told me the other day that you're gonna be a movie star. So this is the beginning.
Just tell me when you're ready to go.
When you guys were at the Blue Hotel, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, when you were at the Blue Hotel in Las Vegas, did you ever see anyone hurt Crystal?
No.
No, you never saw that? No one?
No.
Okay. Do you remember, while you were in Las Vegas, if Anthony ever hit or socked Crystal?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember? Do you remember if you told the police officers that he did?
No.
You don't remember if you did?
I didn't say that.
You didn't say that? You didn't tell him? Okay.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Tim.
How are you?
Fine.
Mark, or I should say Anthony, he didn't like Crystal that much. Is that true?
Well, he did like her because she was sweet and she likes everyone.
Right.
But sometimes she'll get him mad.
How come?
I don't know.
Crying and stuff?
I think so.
Too much like a baby?
She acts like a baby.
Oh, okay.
Well, she was a baby.
When Crystal would climb up on your mommy's lap and stuff and want to hug her and stuff like that, would Anthony get mad?
No.
No?
Not all the time.
Would he get mad sometimes?
He'll get jealous.
He'd get kind of jealous?
Yes.
Okay. A little bit mad?
No.
No? Okay.
Not at all, just jealous.
Okay. You got it.
She just completely reversed herself on every important point. She's a kid. You know, what can you do? You can't impeach her, you can't yell at her, you can't punish her. She's afraid. She didn't want to participate. She doesn't know the seriousness.
I want to direct your attention to February 21st of 2006 at about 4:45 in the afternoon. Do you have yet another conversation with your daughter Gladys? During that conversation, did she tell you that Crystal was okay?
Le dijo que Cristal estaba bien.
No, me dijo
No, she
que
told
algo
me
había pasado con su estómago.
that something had happened with her stomach.
Estaba vomitando y se había hecho popó.
That she was vomiting, and that she had made.
Que había tratado de llevarla al hospital.
That she had tried to take her to the hospital.
Did Gladys tell you that Crystal was alive when Gladys dropped Crystal off at the hospital?
La dejó a Cristal en el hospital. Ella estaba viva.
Yo le pregunté a ella si la niña estaba viva cuando la dejó.
I asked her if the girl was alive when she
dropped her.
Y ella nomás me contestó que no.
And she only answered me that no.
When do you next see Gladys and Leslie?
¿Cuándo fue la siguiente vez que usted vio a Gladys y a Leslie?
Cuando llegaron a la casa.
When they came to the house.
What did you see?
¿Qué es lo que usted vio?
A Gladys.
To Gladys.
Golpeada. Con un ojo morado. Un golpe aquí.
With a red, a blue eye, with a hit.
Y complaining de su.
Complaining.
De dolorida.
Of pain.
Su cuerpo.
Her body.
Did you call the police shortly after she got home?
Yo llamé porque así quedamos yo y ella.
We agreed on that, me and her.
From now, when you're very likely still in prison, when you look back, you're going to be so angry at Gladys over there. And in 10 years, when this knucklehead's not calling you anymore, he's not fighting you, he's doing his own thing, and he's not in your life, you're going to be wondering what all this was for and what all this is about. And you're going to really be mad at Gladys today, okay? All right. We'll see you tomorrow. That's going to put Gladys in context, and all that good work we've done is right in the fucking shithole when they start putting these letters in. Right in the shitter.
They're going to, well, yeah, you're right. They're going to give her a second at least just for that.
Oh,
just
she's got no chance at less than a second. No chance. They're going to hate her. I'm going to read to you a little bit about what your future holds if you continue to do this line of work. Trial started September 11th. Letter dated September 12th, received September 13th. I thought of the way Buddy tastes and how good he smells. I just wanted to suck him long, deep, and hard. I was imagining you bending me over the table, picking up my skirt, and doing me doggy style. Now, keep in mind, the table she's referencing is the defense table where she's sitting at trial for the murder of her 3.5-year-old child by Mr. Buddy's owner.
Everybody gets to read this. She knows that? I mean, they know they read prison mail, right?
She knows it now.
I feel a little betrayed. I just wasted 2.5 years.
Don't say that. I messed up the case myself. I appreciate everything you've done. You know that. Yes, I did betray you. I really did.
The record reflects this hearing is taking place outside the presence of the jury panel. Can we go to the letters? Okay. Based upon some of the things stated in here, it was the Friday.
Right.
Which was the second day of jury selection.
Right.
Okay, and Detective Accaro's indicated to the court that he's going to paraphrase in a way that it minimizes some of the offensive, vulgar language in the letter. And Mr. Brown, I know, do you have any objection now that we have?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're still objecting? Okay, because we did water it down substantially.
I understand, Judge, and what I objected to was this letter was written during jury selection.
Right.
So that heightens the outrage, if you will. It doesn't offer anything more probative than the other letters. It just means she's still continuing it today. I mean, you could have written one 2 weeks before trial, a month before trial, or last summer, and it would have the same effect. All we're doing by introducing this letter, which was written now, is enhancing the prejudicial effect. It doesn't increase the probative value at all.
Okay, and again, I thought that the timing was what made it so probative, but...
We're sitting in the trial of her daughter's murder, and she's sitting next to the person who her defense is saying is not only the murderer, but is the person who prevented her from calling 911 and dragged her across the country unwillingly. What could be more probative? She's had all kinds of time to reflect on this, and these are her feelings towards him currently.
the explicit nature is not standard writing. It is pornographic, graphical, literary fiction that is submitted in magazines across the world every day, so I'm told by Mr. Lau.
But she talks about...
You're familiar with the correspondence, or at least some of the correspondence between Ms. Perez and Mr. Colon?
Yes. Just to get past all that, Mr. Colon refers to his penis as Buddy. And so this long letter here is going to make numerous references to Buddy, which is his penis. The references about being bent over the table, the council table, and you pulling up my skirt and doing me doggy style.
Start again in 15 minutes.
That's like asking the jury to listen to something very carefully. It's very soft sound and you want them to hear it, but just before you play the soft sound, bam, you ring a big bell right in their ear. And so all they hear is, wah, and they can't hear the soft sound.
I know that even without that letter, I was still going to get convicted just for what I feel for him.
Maybe.
That letter's not even going to make any difference.
No, it will.
As to
It may. We're trying to put an expert on there to help explain to this jury why you do the things the way you do. We're all wired differently. Okay?
Dr. Paglini, have you formulated an opinion as to whether or not Gladys Perez has been the victim of violence in this case?
Yes, I have. My opinion is that Ms. Perez is the victim of intimate partner violence and coercive control.
When you talk about domestic violence, or I guess the new term, intimate partner violence, are we talking about more than just hitting and physical assault?
Of course we are. We're talking about threats. If a batterer makes a threat to a person and they've already hurt, the victim is going to receive the threat as real. So according to the Department of Justice, threats is a part of the intimate partner violence.
Is it common for victims of battery, domestic violence, intimate partner violence to try to exonerate the person who's hurting her?
What you have to look at is she can't walk into a room and say, hey, let me tell you truly what I experienced on this day and what my daughter experienced, because there's an element of coercive control. That if you say certain things, all right, then all of a sudden violence may ensue.
Thank you, Dr. Paglini.
Okay.
Dr. Paglini, Gladys Perez has never left the relationship that she has with Mark Anthony Colon.
It seems...
Yes or no? Has she left the relationship? Simple question.
Yes. Oh, okay. No, she has not left the relationship.
Okay, she's still in the relationship. And is it your opinion that she could not leave, cannot leave, or that she does not want to leave it? You understand the difference?
Yes, I think it would be likely that she does not want to leave the relationship.
She can, but doesn't want to. Is that your opinion?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't it possible that the reason Ms. Perez has acted the way she has with regard to her relationship with Mr. Colon simply because she loves him?
Did Ms. Perez love him? The answer is yes.
Okay. And isn't it possible that her love for Mr. Colon outweighed the love for her she had for her own daughter?
No.
That's not possible.
Well, anything's possible. I just don't agree with that.
You disagree with that?
I disagree with that.
Okay. Thank you. That concludes cross-examination.
This trial is about what happened on during the evening hours on January 11th and the early morning hours of January 12th. We all learned that Gladys was not chained literally, but she was chained and controlled emotionally and physically.
Purpose of doing equal and exact justice between the defendant and the state of Nevada. Mr. Lawley, you may address the jury in your closing argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, these two defendants absolutely deserve not to be treated the same. What is the appropriate sentence for a man who beats a 3-year-old baby to death? When you're considering what the appropriate punishment is in this case, consider the manner in which life was taken. Contrast that to what's happening in this courtroom. Mark Anthony Colon is shown the dignity of these proceedings to determine whether he should live or die. He is ably defended by 2 of the most competent attorneys in the state of Nevada. Crystal had none of that. No one was there for her, not even her mother. She was there alone. Thank you.
Gladys Perez is not guilty of murder. Not first degree, not second degree. Gladys was a victim of domestic violence. And I don't stand before you and use that word regarding Gladys easily. Because to call Gladys a victim, I know some of us may find offensive given what happened to Crystal. But make no doubt, Crystal's death was the result of domestic violence. Let's talk about the acts that they're alleging. No evidence at all that Gladys Perez failed to protect her daughter. The evidence doesn't even tell you beyond a reasonable doubt that she was there to protect her daughter. Now, you've heard the letter. Gladys Perez still expresses love and lust towards Mark Anthony Colon. You were presented with a few dozen words out of hundreds and hundreds of letters written by Gladys Perez. I'd ask you to base your verdict on the evidence and the facts as you deduce them regarding January 11th and January 12th. That's what we need to focus on here.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there are no blanks. If you impose death, death will be executed. As Mr. Oram said, it's someday in Carson City, they'll put the belly chains on Mr. Colon. He'll shuffle with his leg irons into the execution chamber. They'll strap him down, and they'll put a needle in his arm, and his life will end. But on the outside of that chamber, through the glass, will be sitting Maxine and Marlene. And they'll be watching it. And I suggest to you that if you have the ability to go with them and hold their hand where they put their dad to death, then you should consider death. But unless you have that ability, it's not even on the table.
Ms. Marconi?
There's no question that Mark Anthony Colon is an abusive person who's victimized a lot of people. He was mean to his girlfriends, he was mean to Monica, he was mean to Lisette, so much so that she was willing to leave her children behind with him. But Ms. Perez is different than those two. She still loves him, and she still cares about him. And at this late date, during a trial about the murder of her daughter, writing flirtatious letters, you know, not grasping her own moral failing in this case is pretty hard to accept. We would expect a total stranger to do more for Crystal than her mother did. And maybe that's something that deserves more than the minimum sentence.
And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, you are excused to deliberate upon your verdict.
I don't like morning verdicts, Curtis.
Well, no, I know what it means. It's usually not good. I like the post-lunch verdict a lot better than the early morning verdict. Because that means they came to an accord too easily on everything else last night.
Will the defendants and their attorneys please stand?
We, the jury, in the above entitled case, having found the defendant, Mark Anthony Cologne, guilty of count 3, murder of the first degree, impose a sentence of life in Nevada State Prison without the possibility of parole, dated at Las Vegas, Nevada, this 10th day of October, 2008, Drew Melby, foreperson. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, having found the defendant, Gladys Perez, guilty of count 3, murder of the first degree, impose a sentence of life in the Nevada State Prison with the possibility of parole, dated at Las Vegas, Nevada, this 10th day of October, 2008. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict is read? So say you one, so say you all. Yes.
About me, I don't care. I'm ready for you to understand. Oh my God, tell my kids.
Gentlemen, on January the 22nd, 2003, the unthinkable happened.
3-year-old Christy Cowan was killed, and her 10-year-old sister
Christiana and Brittany were stabbed repeatedly. 19-year-old Beau Maestas and his 16-year-old sister Monique have now been charged with murder.
I represent Monique Maestas. Beau is saying basically you were there, you didn't do anything.
Death and nothing less for what he did.
It's crucial that he not get death for us.
He's not budging.